বিরক্ত লাগতেছে ক্লাস টাস করতে পুরাটা।
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes ma'am, we can.
Today, we're gonna learn a new chapter which is about deadlock. So, in this chapter, we learn these things one by one. First of all, you need to understand what is actually deadlock problem or what is actually deadlock. Let me draw the picture so you will easily understand what is written in the definition. Now, first of all, what is actually deadlock? Look at the definition. In an operating system, a deadlock occurs when a process or thread enter a waiting state because a requested system resource is held by another waiting process, which is turn is waiting for another resource held by another waiting process. We have three processes in the processor: process 1, process 2 and process 3. Three processes: process 1, process 2 and process 3. Now, process 1 need resource 1 and resource 2 to run this process. Process 2 need resource 2, resource 3 to run this process. Process 3 need resource 3, resource 2, resource 1 to run this process. Process 1 have resource 1, process 2 have resource 2, process 3 have resource 3. That means each of the process have actually occupied a resource. So that's why the another resource is occupied by another process. So that's why all of the process are in the waiting state. None of the process can be complete the execution of its tasks. That is actually called deadlock. So deadlock means that there are more than one process in the processor. Each of the process needs some resource, but the resource are actually occupied by some another process. So the process are actually in the waiting state. That is called the deadlock. So guys, in this slide, if you have any question, you can ask.
Ma'am, is it constant that inside the process on there will have a resource on and 2?
I don't get your question. Repeat it again.
Could you show that image which
Okay,
you have drawn?
Okay, yes, still.
Like you have drawn there inside the process on, it's showing resource 2 and 3 there. So is it constant that there will have only resource 2 and resource on?
No, it is not constant. The thing is that different process need different resource. It is resource is represented by R, process is represented by P. After some slides, you will find out that you have to do some graphs and of the graph, the diagram from the resource. So at the question, it will be written that which process will occupy which resource. It is not constant.
Okay.
Do you get my point?
Yes, ma'am. Got you.
Okay. Now, this is an example of. So look at the picture. So this is the two-way road. This is also two-way road, but here this is the one-way road. Now look, this car want to move at this point. This car want to move at that point. If this car want to move at that point, it need to step. This car need to step back and let this car to move this way. If this car want to move that way, so that car need to be left back and let this car to move this way. Now, if both of the cars don't agree to move backward, whether this car need to move backward, whether this car need to move backward, if none of them want to agree to move backward, what will happen? This place will be occupied, so no car can be come and go from this narrow road or from this one-way road. And all of the cars are at the waiting state. None of them can go to their destiny. That is a good example of deadlock. Now, for the deadlock, what are the things is related? Resource represented by R, CPU, and deadlock is related with the CPU cycles, memory space, IO devices. You know what is IO device, you know memory space, and CPU cycle means that the specific time for each of the processes, that is called the CPU cycle. And resource is represented by Ri, and inside resource there is instance. Instance also known as the element. Actually represent. So when I go to graph of the process and resource, so resource is represented by this square shape. Inside the square shape there are some small squares you can see. So those small squares are actually represented at instance, which is represented by W. Or you can also call these are elements inside the resource. Then each process utilize a resource as there are three options: whether the process can request for the resource, whether the process are using the resource, or whether the process release the resource. The thing is that when a processor in the waiting state, he is requesting that I need this number of resource for complete execution. That is called the request. Use means the processor already using the resources for execution. And release means after complete the execution of the process return back the resource to its place. So resource will be released and another process can use that resource. So guys, up to this slide, if you have any question, you can ask. Now the characteristics of deadlock. So how can use the deadlock in a simultaneous way or in a continuous way? Or if the deadlock happens, what are the characteristics you have to do? First of all, mutual exclusion. Mutual exclusion means that in this picture, if both of the cards disagree to move backward or none of them agree to move backward, at that point of time, nobody can go and back through this narrow road. So it will be a deadlock option occur, all of them in the waiting state. Now, exclusion means whether this car will agree to go back and let this car go at the first way, or this car will go back and let this car will go to the first way. Means there should be an agreement. That is called the mutual exclusion. Sacrifice or it will sacrifice. But between one of us, whether me or whether you have to sacrifice, it's called mutual exclusion. If there is no mutual exclusion, at that point of time, we go for the execution state, all of them at the waiting state. Okay. Hold and waiting state means that go to the mutual exclusion, so everyone is in the waiting state. If both very much aggressive and both of them are very much disagree to give sacrifice, and situation will be hold and wait, that none can be complete the task. No permission means that a resource can be released only voluntarily by the process holding it, other that process has completed its task. No permission means that of the resource. So after complete the execution of the process, the processor release the resource. The processor release the resource at that point of time. The other process have the opportunity to use that resource. By this way, it will be at the waiting state. And the last one is the circular way. Now, circular way, example of circular way. Now, look at the diagram. What is actually circular way? So, this side car will be moved in there. This side car will be need to move in there. This side car will be move in there. And will be need to move in there. Now the thing is that there should be a circular wait. Circular wait means a sequence. Which process will use the resource first? Which process will use the resource last? So, first of all, if I let this car to go up, so this car will move. If this car moves, so this place will be free. When this place will free, at that point of time, the cars, those are need to go this area, they can move from here to this area, from here to this area, and from here to this area. Then, if I allow this area's car to move to this way. So this car will be moved. Now this place also be free. So the cars from this area and this area and this area, those are want to move in here, they can move. So by this way, the car, there will be no roadside is occupied, it will be free and everyone can go to their destiny. So one by one, according to the priority base, I give the opportunity for each of the process to have the resource. Circular with another good example. Is a throwing game. So you are in a musical chair. So there is a circular way. That first I throw the object to you, then you throw the object, then your friend throw the object to third one, then third one to fourth one to fifth one. It means one by one, each and everyone have the opportunity to use the resource to complete the task. This slide. If you have any question, you can ask. Then, so thing is important that process represented by P, H represented by E, represented by B. When you do these graphs, you will understand what are those things and what things you need. Very much important, you need to remember whenever request for the resource, the arrow sign is like this way, that process to resource. Whenever process is using the resource, the sign is like this way, that resource is using by process. Now process represented by this sign, represented by this sign, and inside the small box, this is represent the inner state. So when process request for the resource, the arrow sign should be like this way, process resource. Whenever process hold the resource, the arrow sign should be like this way, it is pointing to the process, that process is hold this resource. Whenever the process need the resource or request the resource, the arrow sign is pointed to the resource. You have to remember these two arrow signs. Now all of you take your pen and paper, and whatever I am saying in this diagram, all of you write it down at your pen and paper, with your pen and paper, because at the exam time I will provide you this type of diagram. You have to explain what is happening in this diagram. So first of all, look at this diagram. There are 4 resources. Resource 1, resource 2, resource 3, resource 4. Resource 1 and resource 2 have 1 instance. Resource 2 have 2 instance. Resource 4 have 3 instance. Now I have 3 processes. Process 1, process 2 and process 3. Process 1 is request for resource 1, and process 1 is hold the resource 2. So process 1 is hold the resource 2 or using the resource 2, and process 1 is request for resource 1. Process 2 is hold resource 1. Process 2 is also hold resource 2, but process 2 is request for resource 3. Process 3 is hold resource 3. Now what is happened? So process 3 at first complete the execution of resource 3 because it needs only one resource, which is resource 3, and already it holds the resource 3. So it complete the execution of resource 3, when it completes the execution, resource 3 will be free. So whenever resource 3 will be free, at that point of time, my process 2 also holds the resource 3. Whenever my process 2 hold the resource 3, so now process 2 is not waiting for any of the resources. It is hold the resource 1, it is hold the resource 2, it is now hold the resource 3. So process 2 complete the execution of its tasks. After complete the execution of its tasks, so resource 3, resource 1, resource 2, all of them will be released. Whenever it is released, process 1 was needed resource 1 and it already hold resource 2. So as resource 1 is released, so process 1 will hold the resource 1, already it is hold resource 2, so process 1 complete the execution of its tasks, and thus this way my process 1, process 2 and process 3 complete the execution of its tasks. So guys, in this diagram, if you have any question, you can ask.
Ma'am, will you please repeat?
Which thing you don't understand? Tell it specifically.
Ma'am, the execution process, ma'am.
Okay. So look at here. First, my process 3 is already hold the resource 3 and it does not need to, and it does not waiting for any of the resources. So that's why first my process 3 will complete the execution of its tasks. So it release the resource 3. After it release the resource 3, then my process 2 already hold resource 1 and resource 2. It is released now, process 2 will hold the resource 3. So process 2 also start the execution of this process. After complete the execution, then my resource 3, resource 1 and resource 2, all of the resource will be released. The thing is that process 1 already holds resource 2 and it is request for resource 1. Now resource 1 is released. So process 1 will be hold resource 1 and already it is hold resource 2. So process 1 will start to executing and complete the task. Do you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, here what about the resource 4?
Yes, resource 4 is needed for no of the processes. So resource 4 is just here. The thing is that whenever you can think about resource are actually the library functions or the library properties. Say for example, when I run my Microsoft Word or my Microsoft PowerPoint, the library properties which I need, I don't need the same library properties when I need to run the code block or jump server. The same thing it is showing in here. Whenever I want to run 2 or 3 processes at the same time, at that point of time, if the processes are the need same library properties at that point of time, this type of situation is happen. Do you clear? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now come to this diagram. Now in this diagram you already asked that this diagram I have explained. Now written this thing very carefully that every deadlock can be known as cycle. Cycle cannot be a deadlock. This diagram is represent the cycle. This diagram is represent the deadlock. Deadlock can be cycle, but every cycle cannot be a deadlock. you can also see this is a cycle plus deadlock. But this is only cycle, it is not deadlock. Now what is the difference between cycle and deadlock? Look at this diagram very carefully. When it is deadlock, specifically deadlock, there are lots of resource, but one or more resource cannot be usable for the process. That is called deadlock. But whenever all the resources are important for all of the processes, that is called cycle. In this diagram, 2 resources are there, 4 processes are there, and each of the processes are needed both of the resources. So that's why it is cycle. But in this diagram, 3 processes, 4 resources, and my 3 processes need these 3 resources, not the resource 4. So that's why it is deadlock. Now I am explain what is happening in this diagram. Write down at your copy. There are 4 processes and 2 resources. My process 1 is request for resource 1. Process 1 is hold resource 2. Process 2 is hold resource 1. Process 3 is hold resource 1. It request for resource 2. Process 4 is hold resource 2. Now look at in the diagram carefully. Process 2 only hold resource 1 and it does not request for any of the resources. Process 4 also hold one resource, which is resource 2. It does not wait for any of the resources at all. So my processor will execute process 2 and process 4 right now. When it complete the execution of process 2 and process 4, so process 2 will release the resource of resource 1. Process 4 will release the resource of resource 2. So both of the resource will be released now. Now process 3 is already hold resource 1. It needs resource 2. So already resource 2 is released. So process 3 hold the resource 2 also, and process 1 already hold resource 2 and it needs the resource 1. Already process 2 complete the execution of its task, so it release the resource 1. So process 1 will hold the resource 1, then process 1 and process 4 will complete the execution of its tasks. So this will happen in this diagram. So guys, in this slide, if you have any question, you can ask. Okay. Now, so this picture represented deadlock, this picture represented deadlock, this picture represented cycle. Already I discussed about this all types of picture. This picture represented the deadlock. Now there is a problem in this picture. The thing is that, look at this picture. Process 1 hold resource 1, but process 1 request for resource 2. Process 2 hold the resource 2, but process 2 request for resource 3. Process 3 hold the resource 3. Process 3 request for resource 4. Process 4 hold resource 4, but process 4 request for resource 1. Now the the problem is that each of the process are request for some resource which is already held by another process. Now in this diagram you need the mutual exclusion. If none of the process are ready to do sacrifice, at that point of time none of the process can be complete the execution of its tasks, because each of the process hold one of the resources and each of the process need one of the resources which is occupied by another process. At the point of time, whether process 1 or process 2 or process 3 or process 4, means any of the process do the mutual exclusion. Means process 4 if sacrifice or if release the resource 4, so at that point of time process 3 can use resource 4. So later on process 4 can do the complete the execution. So if there is no mutual execution is happen, so none of the process can complete its tasks. So guys, up to this slide, if you have any question you can ask. So at the end of this week, means Thursday, I will provide you assignment. So these two exercises you have to do at your assignment. Also, I will provide the assignment related with the algorithms, the scheduling algorithms.